It's official. Duncan Robinson, for the first time in what feels like forever, and for the first time since I was in high school, will not be a member of the Miami Heat. It was trending this way. The Detroit Pistons were the most linked team to Duncan in free agency following the Malik Beasley gambling announcement. And it's official. He signs a 3-year, $48 million deal with Detroit to be their shooter off of the bench. Or maybe he starts next to Cade Cunningham. But he gets a deal larger than I expected at $16 million AAV. And he is no longer a member of the Heat. It is a sign and trade. We'll talk about what Miami got in return here in a second. But I want to say thank you to Duncan Robinson. I don't make a lot of these videos often, but Duncan was an awesome player in Miami. And I want to show him some love because he was nothing short of an ultimate professional. He's the most prolific three-point shooter in Miami Heat history. And he might get passed by Tyler Hero, but Duncan was absolutely phenomenal as an undrafted free agent. Had great chemistry with Bam, and he has had so many big moments for the Heat. The number one that comes to mind is his performance on the road in Game 2 of the 2023 NBA Finals, where he willed Miami to a victory in the fourth quarter. Shout out Duncan. Spam your double nickels 55 down in the comments. As I mentioned, Duncan signing a 3-year, $48 million deal, so he gets $16 million per season with Detroit. They had to send out some salary in order to make this work in a sign-and trade, and the only thing Miami is getting in return is a wing, Simone Fontecchio. There is absolutely no draft capital. Would I have liked to get second-round picks out of it? Yes, I would have, but there's not a lot of leverage here for Miami, so they get Fontecchio. They get something in return. This has a lot of different impacts on Miami. We'll see where that ultimately goes with his roster spot and if he can get some PT. He is a player who has averaged 7 points a game in his career. He's 6'7". He was born in Italy. He is a career 36% three-point shooter. He has been in the NBA for 3 years. He spent 1.5 in Utah, 1.5 in Detroit. He played 52 games as a rookie. He played 66 games 2 years ago. And now this past season played 75 games. And by the way, I know it was a very small sample size, but in the 16 games he played with Detroit, not this year, but the year prior, he actually averaged 15 points a night and shot 42.6% from three. He can certainly give you some good minutes off of the bench. He's a solid addition. He actually had 30 points against Serbia during the 23 World Cup playing for Italy. So he's certainly a guy that can make some noise. Like, if you're looking at this Heat roster, Fontecchio, I would rather have him get minutes over Kyle Anderson. Both of them are decent wings that can defend, can just be good connecting pieces. I will say he does a lot of the same stuff as Haywood Highsmith, and I'm unsure that is something that is going to play a lot, which is a little nerve-wracking for me, to be honest, because it's like, does he get PT over Haywood? I'm not so sure he does. Another aspect of Fontecchio is that he is an expiring contract. He has $8.3 million left on his deal, so that will be coming off of the books next season. I don't know if the Heat would extend him. I doubt they would. But the most kind of stunning, I wouldn't say stunning, but the most noteworthy part of this is not getting back Simone Fontecchio. It's actually that this move now puts Miami at the max roster spots. They had 14 roster spots going into free agency after Duncan Robinson exercised his ETO. This now puts the Heat at 15. You can have 15 standard contracts on your roster. So if the Heat wanted to make another move, whether it is a signing, whether it is a trade, they cannot add anyone to the roster. If they make a trade, they have to send out more players than they are current or they would be getting back. Or if they want to sign a player, they have to waive someone. Do they waive anyone? I don't know. Like, they are about $6 million until the luxury tax, about $10 million until the first apron, it looks like. Like, Bobby Marks says projected salary $185 million right now. The threshold is $187.8, so you have $2.8 million until the luxury tax. first apron's at 195.9, so you have about $10 million before the first apron, and you have $22 million before the second apron. So that's where it stands financially for Miami. They're still underneath the luxury tax, but I know there's been a lot of rumors around Dame and other free agents. Those can't happen unless the Heat get rid of players on their roster currently. Make sure you are subscribed to the channels because when breaking news happens, we have you covered. We're actually filming this live on our stream as we were waiting for Duncan Robinson news to happen. Subscribe for daily coverage, live shows when big news drops. We are the #1 leader of Heat coverage on YouTube. Join the channel today. It's been a busy day in Miami, to be honest, because you've seen a lot happen around the NBA. We heard that the Duncan Robinson stuff was progressing towards him leaving the Heat. He ultimately does that with Detroit. But there was also just so much other news around the association. In a shocking fashion, Miles Turner signs with the Bucks. And then right after that, the Bucks waived Damian Lillard. And now Dame is a free agent. And we'll spend the rest of this show talking about Dame because the Heat have been the most linked team to Lillard to this point. I mean, Jake Fisher saying that the Heat were absolutely at the top of the Lillard list back 2 years ago before he got dealt. You would have to imagine that Miami is still going to be an option that Dame wants now. I can't imagine there won't be mutual interest there, and that was clearly the spot he wanted to leave Portland for. And I know a lot of people are going to be, I would say, divided on Dame. Will it be someone that Miami wants to go after? We'll see. Do Heat fans even want him? I'm open to it for a lot of different reasons because if you give him a 2-year, 3-year contract that is a relatively good price point for Miami, you can have him rehab this entire year with the Heat. He mentors Kasparas Yakachonis, and then you have a gap year. You create cap space for next season. You get a top 10 draft pick in all likelihood based off the roster you have now. You then have the assets and free agency to build a good roster around Dame, Hero, and Bam as they come back in 2026-27 season. You also have the draft capital to add young talent to your team. There's a lot of benefits to giving Dame a multi-year contract, letting him rehab in Miami, and then return to the court in a Heat uniform the years following. Anthony Chiang of the Miami Herald saying that the Heat are expected to have interest in Damian Lillard, and Lillard continues to have interest in playing in Miami, according to multiple league sources. So it seems more and more likely that there is going to be a conversation to be had between Damian Lillard and Miami in terms of maybe joining up. Didn't happen in 2023. That trade would have added him to the roster alongside Jimmy and Bam. Now he could be added to the roster to rehab and return to join Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. We will see. We will monitor the situation. But that is certainly the #1 storyline around the Miami Heat following the Duncan Robinson sign and trade where the Heat lose Duncan but net Simone Fontecchio. So let me know, before we sign off on today's show, do you want to sign Damian Lillard? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. I'll be looking. And make sure you're subscribed as well because tomorrow's video we will put out on more rumors following the sign and trade. We'll probably look at Rozier and we'll probably look at Andrew Wiggins.